It's 4:28, 41 degrees inside the tent. I'm at Garfield Ridge campsite. It's day 126, and I'm gonna wake up. Alright, good morning, folks. It's 10 till 6, 43.4 degrees. I'm just leaving Garfield Ridge shelter and campsite. I had to whisper this morning, man. There was like, obviously Birdman right next to me, and then, you probably saw on last night's video when I was getting ready to go to sleep. There's tents everywhere. Freaking crowded, man. Crowded. We were talking to the caretaker some. I guess this particular campsite is one of like the most popular ones in the Whites, or in this part of the Whites, or something like that. So that, I guess that goes some way in explaining it, but goodness gracious, there was like 30 people there last night, and it's a Wednesday, so what gives? Yeah, but I had to whisper, definitely, because there was a lot of folks around, and most non-thru-hiker types are definitely still sleeping. Let's take this little ladder. I think they call this Sunrise Rock, so wow, look at that. Yeah, not bad. Not a bad way to start the day. Goodness gracious. Yeah, if I'd had more foresight, I would have set up the camera for a time lapse this morning, but didn't have that much foresight, so that's all right. All right, only a little treacherous coming down there. Anyways, yeah, it definitely got cold last night. As I said, right now it's 43.4, and it definitely got down into the 30s. I saw my thermometer in the tent was at 41, was the lowest I saw it. Birdman's thermometer was at 40. Those are both inside our tents, so it's always going to be a few degrees cooler, outside the tent versus inside. So yeah, definitely got down into the 30s, but slept great. Slept real good. I did what I usually do with my sleeping bag, and just kind of, when I went to sleep anyways, I just had the foot box zipped up. So basically the sleeping bag will unzip all the way and just become like a big blanket, basically. Or you can zip it up any portion you want, So I just basically, usually I just zip up the bottom 2 feet or so I make like a little pocket for my feet to go in. And that's how I went to sleep. But then I think somewhere around 2 in the morning or something, it got too cold, so I just zipped it up all the rest of the way, and that was just fine. Went right back to sleep, no worries. So that was real good. Always nice to know that the gear you have can keep you warm when it's going to get cold. It's real nice to know. But yeah, so slept great, got everything packed up, just had a little breakfast there. Now we're getting back on trail. So today I think is, if I'm not mistaken, today's either the highest mileage day or the second highest mileage day that Birdman and I are planning on taking through this little jaunt through White Mountain National Forest. White Mountains National Forest. I think it's like a 14 or 16 or 13 or something like that today. I guess I can just check. But yeah, I guess this little section of trail is topographically at least, one of the less challenging sections that we'll be doing. So we decided to kind of, bump up the mileage today. It is 14.8 miles that we're planning for today. So we have a little bit of a descent, and then a pretty good climb, and then pretty much just a ramble thereafter for the rest of the day. So that ought to be pretty fun. I think that's about it. I think that's about it all I got to catch you up on. So, I'm starting with my puffy on, which I know is like a total rookie mistake. I just don't feel like being cold, so I'll probably pull it off in half a mile or something and have to stop and put it away. But, whatever, man. Whatever. All right. Well, we got a little spring here. Yeah, cool. I am going to make sure I don't get lost, keep hiking, start hiking really, and I'll check back with y'all a little later on. So, see you then. Alright folks, we're at Galehead Hut, probably, I don't know what time. 7:47. 7:47. Got some coffee cake, big old jumbo coffee cake, and a hot little cuppa. Sitting here with Birdman, and then there's Yeehaw right here. And beyond Yeehaw, oh I don't know him. Yeah, Yeehaw's a dude got on at Port Clinton to finish the hike that he began last year. So, yeah. All right, well, we'll mash this and we'll keep moving. All right, folks, 8:55 a.m., 56 degrees. Just making it to the summit of South Twin Mountain, which is, what did I say, 4902? Elevation 4902. Yeah, I'd say so. Not a bad summit. There's that bird, I see him right there. So off this way, you can see everything we did yesterday, which is pretty cool. On the far left, and well, on the far left, that little sharp one, that's Mount Flume. That's the one we didn't mess with. To the right of that, and that little half-pipe looking swirl, as you come up to the right of Mount Flume, that is Liberty Mountain. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Bird. And then coming off Liberty, we swing around and start coming up Franconia Ridge. So on the left, we had Little Haystack. That peak, which kind of has the rock slide below it, beneath it, that's Mount Lincoln, and then Mount Lafayette, and then we wrapped all the way around this ridge. There's Garfield, where we camped last night. Yep, and now we're up on South Twin, the peak of South Twin at 4,900 feet, 4,902. I didn't see where Washington is, but you know, I'm gonna go ahead and guess it's that tall bugger right there, the highest point in New Hampshire. And if you squint, probably won't come out in the video, but if you squint in real life, you can really kind of see a little bit of the infrastructure up at the top. So that's like the weather stations and comms towers and stuff like that. So Mount O'Brien. see. So that's Mount Washington out there. That's where we'll be in 2 days. That's pretty exciting. Oh, here. Howdy, people. All right. Well, that's where we are. And that's what we'll yell in. Alright folks, 72 degrees at 12:41. Just making it to Zeeland Hut. Z-E-A-L-A-N-D. Zeeland Hut. It's a few miles before our destination for the day. Birdman should be here already. I saw him skip on ahead. We're gonna see if they got any leftover grub for us. See if they got any kind of grub for us at all. Howdy. How y'all doing? Yeah. That's not Birdman's. Oh, yes it is. How you going?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty great. Alright, let me drop my pack, we'll get in here. Look at that. Ooh, almost dropped the GoPro. Again. Alright folks, 1:22. And I'm leaving Zeeland Hut. Met up with Birdman here. Met up with Yeehaw, who's right ahead of me there. That's Yeehaw. Also met up with Iceberg and then one other hiker whose name I haven't caught yet, actually. So they were able to radio ahead from here. There was like maybe a percolating, developing plot afoot for Birdman and I to stay at Madison Hut in a couple days, but it looks like they might be full up and not offering any rooms or anything, or any beds or whatever I should say. But I did want to take a minute and explain what this hut business is all about. It's a little confusing, to be perfectly honest. It's quite a departure from what I'm used to on the AT. But basically, so the whites is just forget everything you know about how the Appalachian Trail works and accommodations and all that. So you have shelters, more or less like usual on the AT, and all the shelters, like most of the shelters on the AT, also have campgrounds adjacent and kind of all around them and stuff like that. So the shelters / campgrounds are available through the whites for a fee of $15 per person per night, right? So that's all fine and good. And it's really no different than a normal shelter or campgrounds, but it's just the local trail club that takes care of them. The AMC, the Appalachian Mountain Club, takes care of the privies and keeps everything clean, and there's bear boxes and stuff like that. So the money's going to a good cause. Now, for thru-hikers, it's not $15. For thru-hikers, you could buy like a thru-hiker pass for $10 the first night that you're at one of these, and then every subsequent night, it's only $5. So, I mean, obviously, if you're a thru hiker, you're probably going to spend 2, 3, 4 nights working your way through these campgrounds / shelters. So certainly it behooves you to go ahead and buy one of these thru hiker passes. And put a pin in that, because I'm going to come back to that in a minute, this thru hiker pass idea. So aside from the shelters and the campgrounds adjacent to the shelters, you also have these huts. They call them huts. And hello. Oh goodness, I don't mean to alarm you, but there's a bear on your back. Can I video that real quick? I don't want to show your face. That's amazing. Hey puppy, you want to come for a pet? A little sniff, little pet? Alrighty, friendly beast. Thanks y'all, have a good hike. Oh goodness. So the huts. The huts are kind of a totally different thing. We have, they're kind of like, I struggle to use the word hotel for this, but they're accommodations that you can rent. They're basically bunk houses that, well, not that you can rent, but that you can buy a room in or whatever, or buy a bunk in. And they're pricey, boy. They're like $150 a night. And most of them don't have electricity or hot water or showers or laundry or anything like that. But what you do get is hot dinner, hot breakfast, and a dry bed, right? So that's $150 a night. Now, I just stopped off at that hut, and we stopped off at a hut the other day, Lonesome Lake Hut, because the huts also have some interesting things for thru hikers. They'll sell little amenities like more snacks or fresh baked goods. I got a grilled cheese with bacon at this hut. Grilled cheese with bacon was $7, and then baked goods, it varies. Anything from like scones to muffins to, let's see, I had a coconut cream cake just now as well. And they also sell soup. Every hut will sell soup for $2 a bowl, to thru hikers anyways. I don't know about day use or whatever. So you can stay there for $150 a night, which will include breakfast and dinner. Or if you're just a thru hiker passing through, you can just pass through and buy food on your own, or you can just keep right on going. They do also have potable water available at all the huts, so that's pretty good for no charge, obviously. Or, well, maybe not obviously, but... yeah, so, to go back to the $10 thru hiker pass, the $10 thru hiker pass also gets you 2 free baked goods from a hut, or from 2 different huts if you'd rather, and a free bowl of soup. So, I mean, the baked goods are like $2 or $3 each, I think, and then the bowl of soup is $2 each. So basically, the thru hiker pass essentially pays for itself, even without staying at the campgrounds. So that's pretty good. Does that basically catch us up on the difference between huts? So you have the campgrounds and shelters, and you have the huts. Be here already. I saw him skip on ahead. We're gonna see if they got any leftover grub for us. See if they got any kind of grub for us at all. And then to complicate things, there's really, for all intents and purposes, very scant sort of dispersed camping opportunities through the Whites. You really pretty much can't camp pretty much anywhere. You got to get below tree line and away from all of the sensitive habitats and stuff like that. And frequently what that means is you got to descend just like 1,000 or 2,000 feet off of a mountain and then pitch up your tent, and then, the next morning pack up your stuff and then hike right back up that mountain, which is pretty rough. But yeah, anyways, that's the skinny on the huts. So again, we were looking at potentially getting a hut in a couple nights, Birdman and me, Birdman and I. But I guess the hut that we were looking at is all booked up or something, so we'll just go back to our original itinerary of working our way through the Whites as initially planned, because that's the thing. You definitely gotta sit down and look at a map and kind of plan your mileage and plan your stops, plan where you're gonna stay, because you can't just pitch a tent anywhere. But yeah, that's the Whites, that's the huts, that's the campgrounds. We're gonna go ahead and get back to hiking. I think it should be about 5 miles or so. to get to where we're going tonight, which is Ethan Pond Shelter and Campsite. Yeah, so again, at this point, at this joint, we're going to be using that Thru-Hiker pass that we bought yesterday to save $10 off of the usual $15 nightly stay cost and pay instead only $5. So if you're confused, you should be, because it's confusing as all heck, but here we are. It's also beautiful as all heck, so we'll keep moving, and I'll talk to you all later. Folks, alright, it is 3:12 and 70.2 degrees, and just making it to my destination for the day. Is the Ethan Pond Shelter. Wow, look at that pond. Ethan did a good job here. Yeah, that's nice. Real nice. Ooh, I think the sun might be setting back there tonight. I'll have to give it that a think. Yeah, it was a pretty good day. So, according to, Appalachian Trail mileage, it was a 14.8 mile day, but certainly I did lots of back and forth for shots and stuff today. Lots of back and forth for shots, and a bunch of spur trails as well. So, but that's the plan. I mean, that's the plan for the whites, is just take it easy and try and take it all in, Definitely want to take it all in. But I think Yeehaw is going to be here. I think Birdman should already be here. And there should be a, decent little number of people here already. We'll kind of see what the situation is. But I'm going to go ahead and finish. I'm getting up to the end of this spur. Get my tent set up. And I'll check back in with you all a little later. So talk to you then. Hey, alright y'all, 6:08. Decided to skip dinner tonight. Had that big old bowl of potato soup and grilled cheese with bacon and everything. And I was one dinner light on this jump. So decided to skip dinner tonight and instead just finished up all the snacks that I didn't eat from yesterday. And honestly is about a push on calories. Because I had like 4 protein bars, a granola bar, and a Snickers, so that's pretty much as good as a dinner, calorically speaking. Birdman and I are sharing a tent platform again, just in anticipation of the potential for more folks to arrive to this campsite. But I think Oli was the name of the caretaker here, super cool guy. Had a cool chat with him. He isn't anticipating that many more people, but we're already pitched up, so we'll just kind of let it ride. But yeah, and hello. Yeah, and what else? Yeah, I mean, it was a good day. Good, fun day. Just about 15 miles or so, and yeah, feel good about that. I mean, 15 miles, I think it'll be, hopefully, maybe, probably, I think likely wind up being our longest day on the trail through the whites anyways, and that's just fine. So what I am going to do, I'm back at the ponds now. Yeah, the pond from whence this campsite gets its name. And I'm going to set up a time lapse, schedule a time lapse for the sunset for you, and then I'm going to go to sleep. And the GoPro will stay out here, hopefully get a really cool sunset, and I'll come back and grab it in the morning after it turns itself off. So I think that sounds like a great plan because I get to sleep and I get to capture a sunset. But yeah, you guys get to enjoy it as if it all happened right at the same time, so that's pretty good for you. So yeah, good day today, and excited about tomorrow. I think tomorrow's going to be a short day. I think tomorrow's even less than 10 miles, but we'll kind of see how it goes, you know. And then the day after we have Mount Washington, which ought to be a ton of fun. So got to keep an eye on the weather though. There's kind of talk of weather, but we'll figure that out. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get this set up, and I'll talk to you all later. Have a good night.